We don't want to pass up on a bad deal or a business opportunity, and we'll figure out the accounting later. For the most part, it works out, but it's definitely something that I wish we had a little more buttoned up, and we're working on that now. From spring of 2020 until the fall of 2021, I was able to buy $25 million worth of real estate without using any of my own money. In this video, I want to talk about how I was able to do that, why I even did that, and the biggest lessons learned and wins during this time. You are in the 5th video of a 6-video series where I'm walking you through my real estate journey, all the way from square one where I didn't know anything about real estate into the next video, which is the final video of this series, where I'm trying to build a long-lasting company. How did I do this? Well, simply put, I utilized the BRRRR method. That stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and scale. I was able to acquire all this real estate, and in fact, all of my $45 million worth of real estate that I own without using any of my own money with that method. Now, just having a method out there is great, but you have to go out and execute. Just because you know what that means and because you know how to do it doesn't mean you're going to go out and actually do it. So here are the 3 biggest factors that allowed me to actually go out and do it. The first one is focus. I remember sitting at a bar with my friend Lucas, which is how a lot of my stories start. We were sitting at a bar and we were wanting to invest in real estate. This was probably 2013, 2014 timeframe. And we were saying we want to own 10 rental properties. So let's buy 1 rental property a year for the next 10 years. We didn't know about the BRRRR method. We didn't have enough money to put 20% down. So our plan was to buy a house, fix it up, flip it, and sell it, and use that profit to put 20% down on a rental property. So in fact, we're going to have to buy 20 houses to then own 10 rentals. While that was a great initial plan and a great vision and focus, as we started to do this more, we started to see the power of real estate and naturally, obviously, scale from there. As you cast a vision out, you have to be careful about what you focus on, because what you focus on grows. And if you're focusing on too many different things, nothing's gonna grow. And if you're focusing on the wrong thing, what you want to grow is definitely not gonna grow. So having a clear focus and vision is key. Early 2020, we got a clear vision and focus. We decided that we wanted to scale. We wanted to step on the gas because we had all the dominoes lined up. More on that here in a second, but we were ready to scale. And what we decided was we wanted to scale and focus on high-end or pretty darn nice apartment complexes and big packages of single-family rentals. We're constantly knocking off 2 or 3 single-family rentals a month with the BRRRR method, but that is a hard way to scale. In order to scale and create volume and create velocity of wealth, you need to buy lots of doors at one time, and the best way to do that is single-family rental packages of houses and apartment complexes. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you the exact type of properties that we bought. The second factor of how we actually scaled was developing a relationship with the right financing partners. And I may sound like a broken record here, but this is not something that happens overnight. You're not going to go from 0 to 25 million in an 18-month period. You're going to have to develop relationships and get a focus and kind of clear everything around and figure out exactly what you want to do and build the relationship that you can lean on at the right times. This is something that anybody on here can do, but they're not going to do it right away. So the money sources that we had been developing relationships over the past 6 years up to this point was private money lenders, hard money lenders, and small local banks. Now, private money lenders are the best money source in my opinion. They're the most flexible, they're based on relationships, the lowest interest rates as far as short-term money goes, so you're going to want to build a relationship with all 3, but I would start to find as many private money lenders as you can. Now, we started out with 1 and just naturally grew from that over time, whether it was developing relationships with people that we were talking through over the years, or whether it was that initial private money lender referring us to friends and family that he knew, and them referring us to friends and family that they knew. You see how it can kind of grow. If you treat your private lenders right, you pay them a fair return, you communicate with them and pay them on every single deal, their money back plus interest, whether you made money or not. That is how you start to develop strong relationships, and that's how you get referred out to their friends. The next is hard money lenders. These are companies that are in business to lend you money on a short-term basis to buy distressed properties and to fix them up. That is the whole purpose of their business. Now, they're awesome because they're a second set of eyes. They're probably more knowledgeable than your private money lenders, and they're going to underwrite the deal with you. So always be finding private money lenders. Even if you have 10, find more, and always be working and building relationships with hard money lenders, because you can never have enough money to buy distressed assets. The long-term funding is going to come from institutional money, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, probably more likely small local banks. Small local banks banks stay in business and operate and become profitable by lending money to real estate investors and small local businesses, but mainly real estate investors. These aren't your big national or even regional banks. These are small local banks that don't have enough money coming in the door through depository accounts like Bank of America or Commerce Banks to keep the lights on. They need to lend out money and arbitrage money. They borrow it from the Fed at a certain rate and they lend it out to you on a long-term basis, like a mortgage, at a little bit higher rate. Bank of America and Commerce Bank, they don't hold your notes. They take the loan and then they sell it off on the secondary market. These small local banks hold these notes in-house and they make a little bit of money every single month on the arbitrage. So like you buying rental properties, if they want to scale that and become profitable by making a little bit of money every month, they need to do it over multiple loans. So they will gladly lend you money on cash producing rental properties. So do your best now and in the future and always to develop and cultivate relationships with private money lenders, hard money lenders, and small local banks. Having these relationships that we had been building from 2014 to 2020 when we were ready to step on the gas made all the difference for us. All right, why did we do this? Why did we feel the need to buy $25 million worth of real estate in a year and a half? I have several businesses and a majority of them are focused on active income today. Like my flipping company, we buy and sell about 300 houses a year. That's great. It provides rentals for myself. It provides rentals for the team. It provides income for about 25 employees as well as Lucas and I. But the minute we stop wholesaling and stop flipping, we stop making money. So it's purely active and it allows me to live the lifestyle that I want now, but it's not a long-term game plan. Same with this education company. I have over 1,100 students that have paid me money for me to teach them how to buy rentals without using any of their own money. It's great. We're always adding 50 to 100 students a month and we're helping change lives. But the minute I stop selling the mentorship, I stopped making money. So why we're building a rental portfolio at all and why we decided to put our foot on the gas was to build long-term generational wealth and kind of a backbone of financial security. One rental property can change your life. You can buy it now and in 20 years have it paid off and probably have more money in there in equity than your 401k and retire a little bit earlier or retire a little bit better. But if you want more than that, buying multiple properties and kind of scaling that now is how to create velocity of wealth. Let's take my rentals, for example. I'm 35 years old right now, and I own $45 million worth of rentals. If I stopped buying rental today, by the time I was 55, it would be worth well over 100 million just by real estate going up in value, and the properties would be pretty close, if not paid off by the tenants. So I'd have $100 million in equity because I worked my butt off and scaled for 7 or 8 years. There's no other type of investment that will allow you to do that. There are two main challenges that we face at this time. The first one was property management. When you take over rental properties, you don't want to mismanage them because they're your baby, they're your asset. You don't want to treat the tenant bad because they're people, but you also don't want to treat them bad for the business sense because they can leave and stop paying you rent, and then that asset becomes a liability because you're not collecting any cash. When you scale as quickly as we did, you need to make sure to have the back end management in place. You want to take care of the tenant in the houses if things go wrong. You want to be able to collect rent. You want to be able to take care of that asset as best you can. And we did the best we could, but this was definitely a challenge for us. We grew quicker on the front end than we did on the back end, and we had to kind of cobble things together and piece it together. Looking back, it would have been kind of nice to have a few more ducks in a row before we scaled, but we bought an apartment complex and we were in the process of kind of teeing that up and getting that managed and infiltrated in our system. And then another one came across our plate before we were done. We decided, let's buy that one and figure it out afterwards rather than let a great deal pass us by. That's been kind of our motto our entire entrepreneurial career. It's worked out so far, and overall it did work out, but we had some growing pains as we were adding all these doors so quickly. Another huge issue for us then and now is bookkeeping and accounting. We do what we can to keep our head above water, but we're growing our rental portfolio and our businesses so quickly that we sometimes overwhelm our accounting team. We're in the process of hiring more people right now, but again, similar to the property management side, we don't want to pass up on a bad deal or a business opportunity, and we'll figure out the accounting later. For the most part, it works out, but it's definitely something that I wish we had a little more buttoned up, and we're working on that now, and working on building that up to a point where we can scale even more and not have to always be playing catch up. Our wins at this time gotta be all the properties that we bought. So here's the packages we bought over that 18 months. We bought 2 self-storage facilities, a 29-unit apartment complex, a 27-unit apartment complex, a 19-unit apartment complex, and a 42-pack of single-family houses, all in the same neighborhood. Now I have videos on this channel about each one of those packages or each one of those apartments you can check out to see the exact way we bought them, but we bought all of them without using any of our own money. That doesn't include probably the 30 or 40 single family rentals that we bought one at a time throughout this time period. So all of that added up equals about 25 million, and we did that in 18 months without using a dime of our own money. At this point, we're kind of taking a breath. We haven't bought as much over the past 6 months, letting those issues and things I talked about kind of work themselves out. As I say that, we just had a 102 unit townhome package come across our plate that we're gonna try to figure out how to buy. More on that to come if we buy it. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure to check out the other videos in the series and come back for the 6th part where I'm talking about how we're planning to build a long-term sustainable company with hundreds of employees, as well as maybe even bring an NBA team to St. Louis. Give this video a like, subscribe, see you on the next one.
We talking about freedom?